Hello everyone and welcome to today's Starseed Healing Circle. In today's session, we are doing a life alignment session and we are combining with that the Wands of Horus cards. For this session, I encourage you to have a notepad or paper and a pen ready because I'm going to pause in certain sections. I'm going to ask you to pause the recording as well to just do a little bit of journaling or writing down maybe just a note or two of what you experience or what your sensation is around the topic that we are talking about as it arises. You could just listen to the whole recording in one go, but if you are going to pause and take note and find a moment, even if it's just a minute or two, to feel into the emotion and to make a note of what you feel, then you'll gain a lot more out of this session. So let's dive in and we do our tune in. So the light code we're working with today is the blue Avian Starseed light code activation. And let's just find a moment to center. So perhaps close your eyes, take a few deep breaths in and out. And just center within yourself. Think about what it is that you would like to work with today. What would you like to receive? What would you like to let go of? What do you want to manifest? What do you want to heal? What do you want to bring into your life? Once you have clarity on that, gently open your eyes. Allow your eyes to rest lightly on the light code, or to perhaps trace it like it's a labyrinth for your eyes. And keep in your mind your focus, your goal for this session. Stay here as long as you like. If you need more time here, feel free to pause the recording. Okay. Let's have a look at the session. So what I've done is I have dowsed for all of the bits of information using the charts for getting the emotions and all of those things. We're going to put it all together. And again, if at any point you need to reflect a little bit or you need some time to perhaps just feel into what it is that is happening for you, then pause the recording. Really, the deeper you can get into the feeling aspect, the more the healing is going to take place, and it can be very powerful. And we've got I think today's session is quite a deep session, and if you're going to allow yourself the time to really dive into each of the emotions and feelings, that's where the little magic gems are going to be. Okay, so also, I'm going to remind you that every time I bring up an emotion or a bit of information, I'm going to remind you to take it back to the goal. So very, very important that whatever your goal is today, see how these emotions connect with or fit with the goal that you have. Because if you're going to do this healing again tomorrow or the day after, next week or a month later or whatever, a year later, you'll have a different goal. And so these emotions will mean different things in relation to the new goal. So really, really important to keep bringing it back to the goal and to dig in that information to see how that is relevant to the goal or the focus for your session. Okay, so it's this particular healing, as well as any of the other healing sessions. You can always do them again and again and again using different goals and focuses, and you'll get different pieces of information and different sensations from each of these healing sessions. Okay, so let's dive in. Overall, in relation to your main goal or focus, the emotion that came up is withered, and it's in relation to sensuality. Now, really, really important before you feel into this, the dimension on top of this is conception. So when conception comes up as a dimension, it means it is something that comes from a time and a space when you were in the womb, either at conception when you were conceived or when you were in the womb. And I found that when conception comes up as a dimension, many times this particular emotion is not necessarily yours. It could be your mom's emotion. So it could be something that you feel withered in relation to sensuality. Obviously, all of this in relation to your goal or your focus. But also check, is this perhaps something that belongs to your mother that you have taken on board and it's not necessarily yours? So withered is when something is dried or shriveled up, maybe limp or shrunken or faded. So something is being made smaller. Sensuality is our passion. It's our expression of joy and our enjoyment, our pleasure. So where has your expression of joy and your pleasure and your passion been shriveled down or made limp or faded in relation to your goal? Okay, pause the recording here, make a note, get whatever the information is that's relevant for you right now. There's no right or wrong answers. This is about what you connect with. You may find that there's memories that come up, things that you've never thought about in a very long time. It could be even things, so a memory pops up and you go like, why is this popping up? It's not really an issue for me. Just write those things down. It'll make sense later on. Next thing I want you to do is I want you to very quickly just tune into your goal and your focus. And there's information about withered, dried, shriveled in relation to sensuality, pleasure, and joy and passion. Okay? Just feel into all of those. And I want you to give yourself a stress level score. So the score that you're going to give yourself is 1 to 10. 1 or 0, even 0 to 10. 0 means I've got no stress at all. 10 means like off the scale stress. So give yourself a value there. There's no right or wrong answer. This is just a value for you so that you can see later on, has there been a change in relation to this goal, the focus, and this emotion? Again, take a moment here. As long as you need, pause the recording if you need to. Next, I want you to check your life energy. So life energy, we're also going to give it a score, 0 to 10. So 0 means I've got no life energy whatsoever. And 10 means like, yay, I'm ready to do this in relation to your goal and the emotion. So how much energy do you have to give towards this goal and this emotion? Again, pause and soak this all up. Now, on top of this, I also like to look for a sabotage. Sabotage is something that holds you back, or it's a block, it's a limiting belief, it's an excuse, it's some shadow or whatever that stands in your way of getting to your goal. The excuse or the sabotage that came up is, I can help the way I am, and I cannot help the way I am. So this is, you need to see which side it is for you. So I can help who I am, meaning I'm in control of my life and I am choosing who I want to be. Or I cannot help who I am, where you give yourself away to, well, I'm just born this way, or this is just the way that I am. My personality is just that way. This is just who I am. I can't help it. You know, that type of thing. That's an excuse or a limiting belief. Okay. Again, make a note of which side you're sitting. Remember, sabotage is standing in your way of achieving your goal or your focus. Okay. The emotion for this particular sabotage is legacy, and it's in relation to mortality. So your legacy is your birthright or a gift or a heritage, something that you can pass on to your children, perhaps, or to future generations, whether it's through birth or just through teaching. And mortality is about our transience. It's about the impermanence of things. So I can help the way I am. I cannot help the way I am. What is the legacy that you leave behind? It's in relation to mortality, so just a reminder that we don't live forever. And how is that limiting belief and the emotion going to impact on your lineage, for example? And how does that impact on your goal? How does it stop you from your goal? Again, pause this recording if you need to. Okay. Next, we're going to input some data. So let's get our setup going. Setup. And maybe I'll put my video on for now. So our first point that comes up is the eyes. Now, for the eyes, you're going to do 4 points. You do one eye at a time, or you can do both eyes at the same time. I'm just going to do both at the same time to make it easy. You do the outside corners, top. Let me just see how it's going to work for your fingers. There, and there. So you've got your fingers around on those points. You hold that gently, and then tap just next to your hairline. Tap, tap, to input that information. Alternatively, you can do one eye, tap, tap, take the other eye, tap, tap, get that information in. When we do the tap, tap, it's like we're inputting the information into the computer's hard drive. We're saying, please take this information, save it. Okay, so this is eyes. Eyes in general are about how we see or how we perceive things. How do we perceive our goal? How do we perceive our life at the moment? How do we perceive what's happening around us? Our next point is sitting in the middle, right on the hairline. Okay, so you're going to take one finger onto that point and then tap, tap just behind the hairline. Tap, tap, input that information. This point is about programming or implants. So programming could be any programming that you've had anywhere in your life. It could be newspapers, TV, YouTube, TikTok, whatever. Implants, same thing. Implants go a little bit more deeper. It could go a little bit more in the esoteric realm, so I'm not going to go too deep into that. This is a secondary priority, so we don't have to dive too deep into that. But programming is really your external programs that you have. It could also be limiting beliefs and things like that. Okay, our next point, this is only on the right-hand side of the body. From your ear, you draw a line down, 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 down. It's about 1, 2, 3 ribs down or so. And it's literally just one finger point on that point. Hold that and then tap, tap on your hairline. Tap, tap. Input that information. This is the point for acidity. So acidity is where we've got too much acid in the system. Acidity could also just be about being like really acidic in life in general. And then our next point is the kidneys. We're doing both kidneys. So the kidney points is on the bottom of your ribs and it's at the back of the body. Now, you could just I'm putting my hand like this on the back of my ribs. It's the easiest point for me, like that. And then tap, tap. And I'm going to do the other side, tap, tap. And the kidneys are about our filters. It could also be where we store our fears. So the fears would obviously be what keeps us back and what holds us back. Okay, so now we've got all of our body points in. Next, we've got the Wands of Horus cards, and we have a few of them. I've got them here in the chart in front of me. Okay, so our first point is sitting just at the bottom part of the hips. It's sort of where your leg bone comes in at the hips. If you're feeling from the top of your hip bone to your pubic bone right in the middle, it's sort of about halfway through there. There's 2 points there. You don't need to do anything here. I'm just explaining where they are. But here we have the bar card. This is the constipation points. So the bar is a passive energy So Ka would be the active. So this is like the yin energy here that's sitting. The Ba is associated with our personality, and it's our connection to spirit. So that's when the physical body, when we go out of our physical body, like a near-death experience or something like that, then we travel within the Ba body. So you'll notice here it's got a bird body and it's got a human head. And so it's our spiritual aspect. In the Egyptian mythologies, if something had a human body with an animal head, it was considered something that was like a god that came into physical form. When we've got the animal with the head, then it's a physical form that goes into a spiritual form. So it's our spiritual traveling body. We have on the gallbladder point, the synchronicity card. So the synchronicity card is the purple one. Gallbladder is about our anger. It's also about it's about anger and rage and things like that. Synchronicity is about things that are happening as it should, when it should, at the right time and place. Then we have on the tip of the nose, that's our allergy point. We have the Ren card, which is the true name. And on the pancreas point, we've got the fire card. That's the orange and red one. So the fire card is to light things up a little bit, to warm things up. The pancreas is about the sweetness of life. Allergy is obviously just about irritations in general. And the Ren is your true name. That's your true you, who you are on a much deeper level beyond this physical existence. So you don't have to worry too much about the cards. I've got them in place, so you don't have to do anything here. Okay, next we're going to go through some emotions. I'm just going to quickly put this back to here because we're going to need this in a moment. There. And I'll put myself back on the main one. Okay, so now here is your time when you need to interact again. Okay, let's look at the emotions. So same as what we've got the body points as priorities, we've also got some emotions, and we're going to build a story with these. Hopefully, or you're going to build a story with these. Okay, so our first emotion that comes up is, it's not really an emotion, but it's a word, is end. And it's in relation to support of others. End in relation to support of others. So this could either mean that support of others. It could be others support, people around you who are supporting you, who have stopped supporting you for whatever reason. Or it could be that you are ending support that you give to others. Okay, see how that relates to your focus and your goal, and how is that affecting? How is this making any sense in relation to that? But also, whether this is part of your story or not, I want you to just feel and imagine, and in relation to support of others, how does that make you feel? If you had to lose the support of others, how would that make you feel? And if you had to stop supporting others, if you are one of those supporters, how would that make you feel? Whichever one feels heaviest for you. You can even try both of them. So I want you to feel into that emotion, like conjure it up. Even find a place and time in your past where you have felt this. Once you've got that feeling, tap on your crown, tap, tap. So that information is now in. Again, pause as much as you need and make some notes around this. The notes will help you later on. Our next emotion is disavow or deny, and it's in relation to idealism. So idealism is like wishful thinking, or thinking like it's really about thinking usually about something is bigger or better than you think. And disavow or deny. So not allowing yourself idealism, perhaps. Not allowing yourself to have wishful thinking. Perhaps your focus is more on the negative or being more cynical. So again, feel into what does it feel like to disavow or deny idealism. Just feel what that feels like. Once you've got it, once you feel it, tap on your crown, tap, tap. And again, pause here, make some notes. Our next emotion is excessive in relation to altruism. So excessive is obviously having too much. Altruism is unselfishness, self-sacrifice, compassion, and kindness. Where are you being excessive in your self-sacrifice? Where are you being excessive in being unselfish? Where are you excessive in your kindness and your compassion? Because everything needs to be in balance. You can't sacrifice too much of yourself and give away too much of yourself if you don't have what it needs. And it's going to make sense in a second because we've got our archetypes coming and everything is just perfectly in alignment. You can't make this stuff up. I'm dowsing through lists of like hundreds and thousands of lines of information, and I do it quite blind. So I'm doing the analysis now while I'm actually sitting with you, and I'm actually, as I'm looking at this, I'm going like, oh, I can see what's coming. Wow. Okay. Where are you being excessive in your unselfishness? Feel what it feels like. Feel what it feels like to be excessively unselfish and self-sacrificing and too kind. Feel it and then tap it in on your crown. Tap, tap. Last emotion, spotlight. And it's in relation to motivation. So spotlight is like really like shining that light on your focus, spotlight, and motivation. So what is the reason for you acting or reacting in certain ways? What is your incentive in life? Perhaps what is your incentive for your goal? Why are you acting or reacting in a specific way around your goal? Okay, so put that spotlight on, think about motivation and why you act the way you act, react the way you react, feel it. Doesn't matter if it feels uncomfortable, just get, the more uncomfortable it can be, the better. Feel it, tap it in on your crown. Okay. Our dimension on all of these emotions is sitting on no perception. And it is in relation to end, in relation to support of others. So the end, support of others, is sitting with no perception. No perception means we do not perceive it, we do not see it, it's not an issue. It's almost like we blinded by it. It's not even an issue, it doesn't exist. So the end in relation to support of others may be something that you would have perhaps connected with less when we looked at the emotions. Okay, so we'll just remember that that is part of the equation over here. That's something that you may not necessarily see. Now we want to put it all together. So let's quickly get back to setup. I want you to focus on everything we've spoken about up until now. Perhaps you can even close your eyes and just feel into that. Like feel into how your goal makes you feel. All of the emotions that came up that we had. So withered in relation to sensuality. I can help the way I am, or I cannot help the way I am. In relation to your legacy and your mortality. What is your perception like around your goal? Where do you have programming or implants? Where are you feeling a little bit acidic? What are you not filtering? Where do you need to filter? How it feels to either end support of others or have others support of you ending. Where are you denying your idealism, your wishful thinking? Where are you excessive in your self-sacrifice and your compassion, your kindness. And the spotlight on the motivation. Just feel into all of those things. You don't have to have specific words for the feelings that you feel, just feel it. While you're feeling all of these things, we're going to input all of these things. So keep your focus on all of those things. We're going to input the eyes. So getting the eye points involved. Oh, let me just see if I can get my fingers around eye points. There we go. Feel into all of those things. Take those eye points. Hold one of the eyes, because what we're going to do is we're going to move on. While you're holding the one eye, you're going to hit that point just above the hairline. Then you can let go of your eye. Let me see if I can get my other hand to help here. Then with your other hand, you're going to go to your acidity point. Your acidity point is on the right side in your line with your ear. Now you're going to hold that point. Let go of your other point. And then go with your one hand, go grab your kidney. Take your other hand to the other kidney. And then we're going to tap it all in. Tap, tap. Okay. And then you can let it all go. Let me get my eyes back. Okay. So what we've done was we've taken all of those feelings and emotions. We've taken all of the information, all of our priority points. We grabbed them all and we put them all into our circuit. And it's all sitting ready for us to dive in and do the work. Okay. Then let's look at our archetypes. So we've got a negative archetype that we want to let go of. This one is the martyr. See how that fits in with what we mentioned earlier. So the martyr is addicted to self-pity. So, oh, look at me, I'm a martyr, I'm doing this and that and whatever. Oh, look at me. So there's usually they revel or enjoy the self-pity, but they will never admit it. Our balancing archetype, or our positive archetype that we want to bring in, is the king or the emperor, the ruler or the chief. And this is about being enlightened, benevolent leader, and also benefiting those in your charge. So this is a really nice switch that we want to make from moving away from the martyr complex to a space of a king or an emperor. I also like to bring an Aura Soma bottle in to give us some more information. And the Aura Soma bottle is bottle 61. It's a pale pink over a pale yellow. And this bottle name is Sanat Kumara and Venus, Lady Venus. It's Venus Kumara. And the main theme of this particular bottle is personal loss and transpersonal gain. I have this particular, the Sanat Kumara, Venus Kumara, as a quintessence bottle. Love working with it. It's an amazing energy. So I'm not going to put too much information in this particular bottle now, but I will put all of the description for this bottle into the description in the video below. So be sure to read that description. So you may want to pause, quickly go read through that information about the bottle, maybe highlight some information, maybe make notes of what is relevant to you right now and in this healing work. And then we're going to go ahead and do our healing session. Okay, yeah, so that's it. I'm not going to need any of this for now. Okay, one more final thing before we dive into the actual work. There's two balancing points or correction points that you're going to hold. The one is going to be the sacral chakra, which is just below the navel, and the other one is the throat. So you're just going to hold your hands. You can, whatever is comfortable for you, is going to hold your hand there, and you're going to do the same with the sacral. So if at any point during this balance you feel a bit too emotional, or you feel energy stuck, things are not moving, or you feel blocked or whatever, just place your hands on throat and on the sacral and just be in that space for a little bit. When you feel that everything's moving again, or you are okay to carry on, then you can release those. But throughout the session, bring yourself back to throat and sacral chakra. Normally, when we do the healing in person with a client, we don't tell them what this particular hold is about. But I find that with the remote work, it does help for clients to understand what the hold is actually about. So this particular hold with throat and sacral is when there's suppressed anger. So unexpressed anger, anger that's bottled up, anger that's being held down. So you may also find that during the session, if you feel that you're feeling a little twinge of anger for whatever reason, go and hold those points immediately. Okay, so this is specific to this particular balance that we're doing today. Okay, if we do another balance and you hold throat and sacral, it may be a slightly different energy, but in today's session, it's about suppressed anger. Okay, so next, I want you to get comfortable. I want you to close your eyes, perhaps. I'm going to switch over to I'll put it onto this image. And you don't need to see me because your eyes are closed. So while we're going through this, I'm going to do some energetic work. I've got the chart in front of me. I'll do the work. And I want you to just quickly dive in. So close your eyes, become comfortable. You can decide if you want to sit or lie. If during this session you need to make a few notes, again, pause the recording, make some notes, and go back to being quiet with eyes closed and feeling as deeply as you possibly can. Bring your consciousness and awareness back to everything we've spoken about earlier. So think about your goal, your focus, and just bring yourself back to withered and sensuality. I cannot help the way I am, or I can help the way I am in relation to your legacy and mortality. How's your perception around your goal? Any programming or implants? Where are you feeling quite acidic? What are you not filtering? Or what fears do you have? That feeling of end in relation to support of others, or others' support of you ending. Denying of your idealism, your wishful thinking, your excessive altruism, self-sacrifice, compassion, kindness, and spotlight on your motivation. Where are you being a martyr? And how would it feel to be a king or an emperor instead? Just feel into all of those things. And I want you to receive a symbol. A symbol that would represent the current energies that you are working with, the emotions and feelings. It could be anything. It could be a really, really simple graphic, or it could be something a little bit more complex. I want you to receive a symbol, whatever that symbol may be. And you can either draw that symbol, or you could describe the symbol, or you could write down about that. So receive your symbol. Spend as much time here as you need. And thinking and feeling about all of these things, what is the general emotion that you feel? Just get into the general emotion, whatever it may be. If you don't have words for the emotion, that's okay. Then describe what it feels like. Where in the body is it? Is it big or small? Hot or cold? Heavy or light? What color is it? Like, really get into the description of it. And how does it make you feel? Now I want you to go deeper into this emotion and into this feeling and sensation. Just give yourself permission to feel. It's not forever, it's just for now. Just give yourself permission to feel as deeply as you can. Go deeper into this feeling. Imagine you putting a magnifying glass on it, or you're putting it under a microscope and you're really zooming in, making it big. Bring all of your focus and awareness to this emotion and feeling. Now allow yourself to connect with yourself. Whatever that means for you, connect with yourself on a deep level. And then, in relation to all of this information, is there another person involved? Or are there other people involved? If there are, who is it? Or who are they? There's no judgment here. We're just wanting to, just what comes up sensation wise. If you're feeling someone's involved, maybe write the person's name down to get an idea as to what comes up for you. And now, how does this emotion make you feel? So now that you've connected with yourself, you've checked whether there were other people or persons involved, how does that make you feel? Now I want you to see all of this as a color. What color do you see? Next, I want you to go into feeling nothing. Clear the slate. Let's forget about everything we felt, everything you've experienced. Let it all go. I want you to get to a space of feeling nothing. Go into a space of numbness. Feel absolutely nothing. Let it all go. Release it all. Perhaps take a few deep breaths in and out, and as you exhale, imagine you're letting it all go. You're releasing it. You could visualize it as rocks that you throw down, or perhaps water running down a stream, or perhaps just a cloud that flies by, but let it go. You may need to pause the recording here to get into that space of numbness or that space of feeling nothing. Take your time. Don't rush this part. We want to get to a space of feeling absolutely nothing. What does it feel like to feel nothing? And then I want you to get to a space of acceptance. Accepting that things are the way it is, you are the way it is, things are the way it is. Just accept. We don't have to agree with things to accept it. We just see it for what it is. We're in that space of numbness and feeling nothing. And so there's no judgment. Just accept. This is how it is. Let it go, let it flow. Take as much time here as you need. Okay, just becoming aware of your body. I'm just busy locking in the energies, but becoming aware of your body. Coming back into the space. Perhaps fluttering open your eyelids. And we're going to do a few corrections. Okay, so first one. From your eyes, draw a line straight down to the bottom of the ribs, just where the ribs end. And you're going to place maybe a middle finger or an index finger and a thumb onto those 2 points. I tend to use middle finger and thumb. And then above on the sternum, equidistant, there's another point there that you press. So I do it like this with my fingers. So my index finger is the top point. Press those 3 buttons and then tap just above your hairline. Doop, doop. And then you're going to place your fingers, like your fingertips, onto your heart and onto your solar plexus. So I'll do a little bit lower here like that. Okay, and we're just going to hold there for a little bit. So what these 3 points and then the fingertips do is to help the body to release toxins and poisons. So it's a detoxification point. And you may find that once you hold that for a little bit, it may feel like your hands want to float a little bit away from the body. You can allow that to happen. And I'm going to actually just release that. Next, you're going to place your hand on your thymus. Just put your palm on your thymus. Nice, slow, deep breathing. So this is just to lock it all in, to make sure the balance is settling in nicely. Next, you can take all of your fingers of your one hand, take the fingers close together so it forms a little flower shape. like that, as much as you can. Place that around your navel, so fingertips around the navel, and then your flat hand over your forehead. Don't have to press hard on the navel. Just put your fingers around the navel and hold gently, palm on your forehead. This is to balance the meridians within the body. Okay, you can release that. Next, you can take fingers in a line that goes onto your forehead in a perfect line, and above your head, your other palm. I just hold that one. This is our body alignment, just to get everything back into alignment. Okay, and then you can release that. Next, I'm doing an integration point. So you don't have to do anything here. But in the meantime, while I'm doing this, I want you to just revisit your goal again. And I want you to give yourself a stress check. So check your stress levels. When you focus on your goal, what is your stress level now? 0 to 10. 0, no stress. 10, off the scale. Then think about your life energy. How much energy do you have to give towards this goal? Level 0 to 10. Okay. And you can then check how that compares to the numbers that you gave earlier. Has your stress gone up or has it gone down? Has your life energy gone up or has it gone down? So hopefully your stress would have gone down so that you've got less stress about this, and your life energy would have gone up so that you've got more energy to give towards your goal. Okay, well done. Last little bit, and that is homework or support. So again, homework or support is entirely up to you. It's optional. I would highly recommend that you do at least one of them. I always give 2 pieces of homework. The choice is yours whether you're going to do one or both. So the first piece of support or homework is Chinese martial arts. That could be Kung Fu, Tai Chi, Qigong, any form of martial arts. There's 5-element exercises. There's so many different techniques out there. I've actually got a nice exercise that I can maybe do in a future session. But Chinese martial arts. Then the other piece of homework is oxygenation support. So oxygenation support is to get more oxygen into the body. Now, this could be done in a number of ways. It could be there's products on the market. I know here in South Africa, we've got a product called Cell Foods, and that brings in its minerals, trace minerals, and elements that it brings in to help your body to absorb oxygen better. You could spend time on the beach. The ionized air helps with oxygenation. You could walk in the forest, especially where there's lots of ferns around. That helps with oxygenation. Spend time close to a waterfall. Again, that ionization helps to absorb more oxygen. It could just also be breath work. So whatever it means for you, oxygenation support and Chinese martial arts, those are homework pieces. That concludes our healing session for today. I hope that you gained some insights. I hope that your stress levels went down and that your life energy went up. And I look forward to seeing you in our next session. I'm sending you lots of love and light. Take care